Hello and welcome to the Denver Homes Market Report. This is Ricky Schoonover of Mode Denver Real Estate. I thank you for tuning in to my weekly podcast. Last week we talked about a few things. One was the learning curve that buyers often find themselves having to work through. This is where, my buyers, they want to offer on a house, but they are not sure how strong the market is and how strong they must come in order to be competitive. So, then if you were to hire a realtor to help you who was also not fully engaged in the current market conditions, then you are both going through a learning curve. And that can be a very costly mistake for you as a buyer. So, when you're thinking about buying a home, even in the very early planning stages, seek out a realtor to help guide you right out of the gates. Someone who does this full time and who has been doing so for a number of years. Avoid hiring friends and family to help you with what can be a very emotional process. Keep your family ties and your friendships in place. Buying and selling a home is a huge deal, and keeping that transaction at arm's length is very important. If you are a subscriber to this show and you've been following us for the past year or so, then you know what today is. That's right. It's the very first Thursday of the month, which means we just closed out all the transactions for April of 2021. So, where do we stand? Do you think last year's April 2020 was stronger? And by stronger, I mean, did we put more deals together in April of 2020? Or did we sell more homes here in the greater Denver metro area this year in April of 2021? That is the question we are going to find out today here on the podcast. However, I love to give away money on this show. So let's turn this into a bit of trivia. I call it the easiest trivia in the world because if you listen to today's podcast, I'm going to give you the answer. So here's the question. Did we sell more homes in April of 2020 or did we sell more homes in April of 2021? Now, let me go over the fine print and let's keep it simple. In order to win today's trivia, all you need to do is be the 10th person to text me with your full name, your email, and your answer, April 2020 or April 2021, whichever month had more real estate deals closed. If you are the 10th person to text me, I'm going to give you two $100 gift cards, and I'll even let you choose the businesses where you want me to get the cards. I would love for you to support a local business, and if they don't have gift cards, that's okay. I'll go to your chosen local business and deposit $100 in your name. So when you go there, you have $100 in credit to spend however you like. And if you want all $200 to go to the same business, that's okay too. So bottom line, $200 to you by way of a local business. Now you're texting, so texting rates may apply depending on your carrier. And it's also important that you are not obligated to buy or sell anything. Okay, so that's the fine print, and honestly, it's pretty straightforward. So that will come a bit later in today's podcast. But in the meantime, I have another issue I want to bring up. You may have seen some social media posts recently or elsewhere about the prices of homes and how the list price is one number, but the price the pool of buyers are willing to pay, which is also known as market value, the market value has been off the charts. I have been writing offers for $40,000, $60,000, even $80,000 over the asking price and not winning. We have also been adding an appraisal gap, which is where the buyer offers to bring in cash over and above what the lender might loan off of based on the results of the appraisal. Now, my buyers, they have not been quite strong enough to cover 100% of maybe that $80,000 gap. But we have been coming in with sizable amounts of appraisal gap. And then other buyers are coming in and beating them out by going even stronger than we were. So, given all these crazy numbers, I wanted to pull up a few real-life examples of this. What we'll do today is we'll look at a couple of homes kind of randomly. We'll just go into the MLS and pull up a couple of examples where the home was listed for one price, but then what did they actually sell it for? You know, you may see your neighbor's home down the street go up for sale, and you know it went up for, say, $500,000, right? It's published. Everyone knows. There's flyers out front. It's on Zillow, everywhere. So you know that they listed it for $500,000. But then a couple days later, you see a sign that goes on that for sale sign that says, under contract. Now, what is not public knowledge at this stage is what price and terms the buyer of that home and the seller had agreed to. However, once the deal closes, which typically is about 30 days, the actual sold price will then become public record as they record the deed with the new owner. So let's look at that. Let's look at a couple of homes where, they were listed recently and then they closed. See what price they were listed or offered for sale at, and then what price they ultimately sold for. Here's our first example. This home is located at 4421 Beach Court in Sunnyside. I actually remember seeing this one when it popped up on the MLS. It was listed by Keller Williams for $539,000. Then you see in the MLS, it was only in the market for 5 days before going under contract. They recently closed on May 3rd, so just a couple of days ago, and the final price was a whopping $600,000. Wow. That's $61,000 over the list price. Remember earlier, I told you I was writing offers for $60,000 over. Someone beat us out by writing an offer for $61,000 over. I'm sure of this. This was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house in Sunnyside. Now, the listing says that zoning may allow for an ADU, which, that's an accessory dwelling unit. These are often also referred to as like mother-in-law suites or an artist studio above the garage. But still, in the end, as this home sits, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath in Sunnyside that was listed for $539,000, yet in 5 days went under contract, and when it closed, it actually sold for $600,000. That's just crazy. Okay, let's look in the same general area, but let's look at a townhouse or a condo. So here's 2221 Eaton Street. This is a townhouse over in Edgewater, listed by Banyan Real Estate. It was listed at $525,000. It was only in market for 3 days and then went to contract. And it recently just sold for $600,000. That is $75,000 over the asking price. So it doesn't really matter if it's a single family home or a condo or a townhouse. The story is pretty much the same. The list price is one number, the appraised value may be another number, and the market value, which honestly is the only value that really matters, that is the price the buyer and the seller agree upon and ultimately close the deal at. If you are thinking about buying a home, you really need to be committed to this market. And you don't have time to learn these lessons while you're out there writing offers and losing by not fully understand what it's going to take to write a winning offer. I only brought up 2 examples today for you, but trust me, there are thousands of deals being executed recently with similar stories. Speaking of how many deals we recently closed, let's jump in my MLS time machine. I'm going to head back to April of 2020. Oof, those are rough times. We were pretty much in lockdown by the end of April. The whole month of April was kind of crazy, as we really did not know too much about this virus or exactly how it was spread, or what we all needed to do to stay safe. I know I was personally mixing up batches of disinfectant and had it put in spray bottles and was available free on my porch. I was then going on social media and telling folks, please come on, pick up these bottles of this Shakely product. That, once it was mixed, it was good for cleaning surfaces and killing viruses. We were ordering food delivery and spraying everything down before I could bring it into the house. It was sort of like the apocalypse. So with all of that going on, we still managed to sell 6,601 homes for the month of April last year, 2020. Okay, so let's come back to 2021 and let's take a look at April for this year. Okay, wait, before I give you the number, take a guess. Do you think April 2020 was stronger, or do you think April 2021 was stronger? All right, you guessed it. We put together 9,173 deals in just this past month of April. 2021 is clearly the winner with 2,572 more deals in 2021 over 2020 for the same month. So grab your phone, I'm sure it's in your hand already, and shoot me a text, 720-688-5110. You must include your full name, your email, and your answer, which is, drumroll please, April 2021. Be the 10th person to text me, and you will win the $200 by way of a gift card or gift cards to your favorite local business. So, even with the low inventory issues we're having at this time, we were also blowing up the number of sales over last year. This is part of the reason the market is so hot right now. It is sort of that FOMO, or fear of missing out, that if you don't buy a home this year, you may be priced out if you try to wait another year. This market is not for everyone. I mentioned this last week, but I have worked with more buyers in the past 9 months or so who did not end up buying homes than the number of buyers who actually were able to get an accepted offer and navigate to the closing table. I have had numerous phone calls where I've asked a few questions, and after realizing where the buyer was and explaining to them where the market was, that we may just not be able to get them into a home based on what their budget is and what type of home they are wanting to buy. Now, some of them have been able to step up and alter their expectations, but others, it's just not the right time. If you are thinking of buying or selling your home, give me a call. Let's schedule an initial meeting or walkthrough of your home, and we'll go from there. My number, once again, 720-688-5110, or you can also go to my website, www.denverhomesmarket.com. That is going to wrap up today's very special month of April comparisons. I hope you enjoyed listening as much as I enjoy putting this show together for you each week. Please hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you here next Thursday. This is once again Ricky Schoonover of Mode Denver Real Estate.